Welcome to our net worth journey. My name is Caitlin, and you're following along as I attempt to reach $1 million net worth. Today we're going to be discussing the money mistakes that I made in college. So I went to college about an hour and a half away from my hometown, which meant that I had to live in a new area. So I was having to live on campus, so that was an extra expense. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for that part for my first year, so that was really nice. But there's a few other mistakes that I made. I'm going to highlight the top 3 mistakes that I made in my time with money in college. So the first mistake that I made was not working enough during my first 2 years. So I had only had one job prior to coming to college, and that was as a camp counselor at a camp near my house. So I did that the summer prior to going to college. And so once I got to college, I wanted to focus on my academics and not necessarily have to worry about my job so much. So I got a job on campus working with the recreation center, and I was getting paid like maybe $7.25 to $8 an hour, but I was only working about 8 hours a week because they didn't really have a lot of hours for us because they had too many workers. And so I kind of kept that job my entire freshman year. I was living in the dorm, so I didn't need that much money for food or other things. So I was using the dining options on campus, so that was already paid for. So I just needed to figure out how to pay for my extra things that I wanted at that time. And so then the summer in between my freshman and sophomore year, I babysat my brother for free. And so then my second year, I quit the recreation center and started working at an office on campus, and I was working as an office assistant. That still wasn't very many hours a week. It was maybe 12 or so hours a week. And so I went and got a second job at the union or the food place on campus, and so I was able to work a little bit more hours there, maybe 20 to 25 hours a week there. And so it did help increase my budget, because at that point, sophomore year, I was living in an apartment off campus. It wasn't a very expensive apartment. It wasn't a very nice apartment, but it was still something that I needed to pay for each month. Luckily, I was able to split that bill with my now husband, but it was still pretty expensive for me, only working a few hours a week for minimum wage, $7 to $8 per hour. And so then that kind of accrued another issue for me. So I was not able to buy things that I wanted, and so I started using a credit card more often. I've had a credit card since I was, I believe, 12 years old for family vacations only, and then my mom gave me that credit card to go to college with, and so I had really not touched it until I went to college. And so now that I wasn't making enough money, I made the bad decision and started purchasing a lot of things through my credit card. Things that I didn't really need, things that I don't even use or have anymore. A lot of clothing items, like $50 shirts that I didn't need because I was trying to, fit in with other people, or this is the first time I was really wearing regular clothes. I'd worn a uniform all my life, so when I got to college, I really didn't know how to shop for clothes. I really didn't have a lot of clothes that were more for hanging out or going to class or going to work. I really had just had uniforms really before, and then maybe some weekend clothes. And so I kind of splurged a lot those first 2 to 3 years with my credit card at college. And so I left college with around $10,000 of credit card debt. And so that was a large mistake on my part. Now I fixed that mistake. I paid off that credit card bill, but it was still a very large mistake to make in college. The third mistake that I made that was pretty major as well was I could have graduated early. I came into college with a pretty good amount of credits already, probably at least a semester and a half of credits from my high school advanced placement kind of things, my high school dual credit. So I came in with, I think, 12 to 19 credits, I'm not sure exactly, but it was somewhere around there, and so I was able to potentially skip an entire semester. I also took summer classes, so I absolutely could have graduated a year early, but I chose not to because I wanted to do a few minors and I wanted to get the entire 4-year college experience. I felt like I really needed to have that, and so I wasn't really ready to go out into the adult world yet and begin a real adult life. And so I stayed an extra year and completed some minor courses and some major courses that I still had left. And so that was a money mistake on my part because I had to then pay for my last semester of undergraduate because I ran out of financial aid because I used too many credits. And so leaving college, I had $8,000 of student loan debt just from that last semester alone. If I would have graduated early, I would have left undergrad with 0 student loans. So that was kind of a big mistake on my part. It was a mistake in that I didn't understand financial aid. I didn't understand that there was a limit. I didn't think about that in terms of making that decision. I really just wanted to stay on campus for 4 years. And so that was definitely something that I should have thought about prior, but it's definitely something that I've learned from, and I'll make sure to spread that knowledge to others. So those are really my top 3 money mistakes that I made in college. 2 of them are pretty major, and then the other one was kind of like, most people kind of make that mistake maybe their first year at college. So it's definitely something that I've learned from, and I hope that you guys can learn from as well. Go ahead and leave in the comments down below any mistakes that you made in college, any money mistakes that you fixed, or any money mistakes that are still kind of weighing you down from college. I would love to hear about them and love to support you. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to make sure that you receive notifications when I post new videos every Monday and Wednesday. I am sending positive vibes your way. I hope that you're sending positive vibes my way, and I'll see you next Wednesday.